Welcome to this yoga inspired stretching video. I'm Tanya Ross of TDR Academy, and I hope this is going to be a useful add-on to your classes that you're taking with us, so that hopefully you're going to be able to stretch a little bit more at home and feel comfortable with the movements that we take you through, and hopefully they're going to help you with your goals, whatever they may be. So let's get started. So we're going to start first of all in child's pose. We're going to take you with the knees around about shoulder width apart and the toes together and the arms out in front. Now in this position, if it doesn't feel comfortable, you can be a little bit higher if your range of movement doesn't allow you to go all the way back. But our hope is that with this stretch, you're reaching long with the arms and your tailbone is lengthening behind you. So from here, I want you to relax the head down and take 3 deep breaths. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you breathe in, open your ribs. And as you breathe out, relax the body down a little bit more into the mat. One more breath. And out. Slowly then from there, we're going to come into our cats. So I want you to think about bringing your weight up onto all fours so that your shoulders are underneath your hands and your knees, you can draw them underneath your hips. So from this position, I want you to feel that your back is nice and long so that you're not arched and that you're not rounded. So in our mid position, it should feel like you're nice and long from your top to your tail. And then from there, I want you to change your position by curling the tailbone under, tucking your tail between your legs and lifting your rib cage. You're rounding your back towards the ceiling and relax your head. So this is our sad cat position or cat stretch. And then from there, draw it into that mid position and we're going to change into happy cat. So in happy cat, the tailbone is lifted. Your rib cage is lower to the floor. Your shoulder blades are squeezing together, not to your ears, but down towards your pelvis, and that your head is lifted. So in yoga, this is cow position, but a little bit more fun is happy cat. So from there, we're going to transition from one to the other. So lead with your tailbone, curl under with your tailbone, lift your belly button and ribs. Relax the head down as you round your back to the ceiling. And then change. Start to lift your tailbone into happy cat. Sink the rib cage, shoulder blades pressing together and down, and the head lifted. And we're going to bring your breath in. So take an in-breath to prepare, and as you breathe out, curl the tailbone under and roll your spine, lifting and rounding. And on the in-breath, lift the tailbone, sink the chest, lift the head. Out breath, curl the tailbone under, lift the back, and in breath, lift the tailbone. So use your own length of your breath. Don't feel that you have to match the timing of my movements. And as you move through each, try to feel the shape changes that your spine is making. So from this last position, when you're next into your happy cat, I want you to fold it back into child's pose, just where your knees are, and allow your body to lengthen out again. As you take another deep breath in, open up your ribs into your sides. Feel them expanding outwards, and as you breathe out, the belly button draws in a little bit and your sides draw in. So from there, curl your tailbone under on your next out breath. So in breath to prepare. As you breathe out, curl your tailbone under and roll your weight forwards onto all fours, and you'll finish in your sad cat position. In breath, we come into that arch, and then we fold it back from there, back to child's pose. Out breath, curl the tailbone under, rounding and rolling your weight forwards. In breath, arching and rolling your weight backwards. So the size of the movement for you is dictated by how well your spine moves or how tight you are, but also by pain. If you feel any pain in any position, I want you to make sure that you go short of that movement. If it feels like any movements through this video are painful, then stop. You can move on to the next movement, or else the movements just remain smaller. So as you continue to flow through, when you next come back into child's pose, you're going to continue forwards, this time in happy cat. The elbows might bend a little bit, and then rounding as you start to press backwards. So we're drifting again from that arched back position forwards, round back position backwards. Happy cat forwards, in breath. Rounding the back, sad cat, out breath. We'll take one more, so roughly about 4 in each position. And hopefully this is a good back warm-up that just mobilises the spine. Now once you're finished, roll the spine forwards in your sad cat and bring it to neutral, that midpoint between those two, so that hopefully your back feels nice and long. So we're going to go for a disco cat. So from here, what I want you to think about, if it's helpful, is that you're trying to draw a circle with your tailbone on the wall behind you. And as you circle your pelvis, feel your spine wanting to move through each of those positions, but almost in a sideways movement. So that as you're moving, you're drifting through your sad cat and your happy cat. So you'll automatically go the direction that you're comfortable with, and then I want you to change. So you're going the other direction. Okay, so once we've done a few each direction, it's sometimes a complicated one. I'm maybe just going to turn towards you, and that way then you can maybe see from a different angle what happens to your body. So from there, we're drawing that circle with the tailbone, so you'll see a little bit of side to side movement, but hopefully that the ribs are dropping down and the head drops down in between. And again, the same the other direction. It's a bit of a funky movement, but it's good to have your spine moving all different directions. So our next movement from there, then we're going to take you right back into child's pose again. So that as you go back, get yourself spread out nice and long, and we're going to take it into a lunge series. So from here, nice and long through the spine and the arms, in breath. And as you breathe out, slowly rounding the spine forwards, again through your sad cat, and then into neutral. So from there, bring your right leg forwards between your hands. Now you might feel that you need to give it a little bit of a press forward to bring it to the required distance, where the ankle is underneath your knee. So from there, in that position, I want you to think about lengthening your hips forward. So I don't want to see you in a position where your back hip is over your knee. I want you to think more about trying to bring that hip in front of your knee. And again, wherever your range allows you to go. So with a right angle on the front leg, as much stretch as will work on the back leg. And rather than being rounded like your sad cat, I want you to lengthen your body. So you're trying to make the back long and straight. Now from there, we're holding for 3 breaths. In our first class at TDR, with the yoga and the stretching, we want to encourage you to breathe. All too often we don't. We're very tense and we don't breathe fully. So that movement into your rib cage when you breathe in, and as you breathe out, more of a sense of relaxing and lengthening your spine. Now once you've done 3 breaths here, we're going to sweep the leg in behind, back to neutral, and then we're going to draw the other leg up. Now again, as we come forward, this range could be different to your other side. So I want you, again, to go where it feels as a good position for you. So right angle in front for good alignment. And then as we come forwards, again, you can choose. This is my slightly tighter side here. So I feel like it's a little bit more tendency to round. So you have to work a little bit harder to lengthen through your back. So that might mean that you come up to fingertips. Or for you, if you have blocks at home or even thick books or cushions, you might want to use them as supports. So again, once you've taken your 3 breaths in this position, we're going to bring you back into that box position, into neutral. We're going to bring the right leg forwards again. Now to develop that one a little bit further, it depends on your range of movement, whether you go to the next position. So from here, if it feels that's where you need to stay there, working on your length and your breath. But if you felt you could go further, tuck the toes under and lengthen the back leg. We're looking for a straight line that goes roughly from your knee to your ankle, so that we're trying not to have a bit of an angle. As low as you feel that you can go. Again, maybe you need blocks at this point, but try to keep the back long and straight. Breathing into your ribs and relaxing and lengthening on the out breath. Trying to keep that back leg straight if you can. Now once you have done your 3 breaths here, you can lower the knee down, take it in behind, and we're going straight over onto the other side. As we take it up again, we're looking for that right angle on the front leg. And again, you could certainly stay with your knees forward in this position. Sorry, your hips forward in this position. And then from there, we can draw your toes under again if this is the right position for you. If it feels you go up into the stretch and your body says no, respect it and come straight back down. There's no negative from doing that. It just means your body's not ready yet. So those 3 breaths again. Lengthening from your heel to your knee. Can you make it longer? Over your 3 breaths. So as we're holding from there, the breaths once you've completed, you can lower the hands down and again, either dropping to your knee or sweeping the leg behind. Once we're back into neutral again, we're going to continue and we're going to add a twist into this movement just to start opening up around the waistline. So we're going to draw that right leg forward and we're going to start first of all with knee to knee. Once we're here, you're going to plant the opposite hand firmly level with the foot and we're going to reach up towards the ceiling. It's not about forcing this top arm back, it's about pressing your bottom arm into the floor. Now from here, your hips might have sunk back a little. Can you take them forwards? That's your position. 3 breaths. Once you're there, opening up into your ribs again. The bottom shoulder firmly in its socket. And once we've completed those 3 breaths, we can take it into the further position with that, and we'll do all on one side to start with. You could separate these out and do them bent legs, twist each side, and then straight leg twist each side. Once we take it up in this position, if you feel again you don't belong there, or if you're working harder with this top shoulder, take it back down to the knee. Again, you're better to do a better position than to force it into something your body doesn't feel good with. It's okay if it feels challenging, just not sore. So again, those 3 breaths, lengthening, lowering through the hips, pressing in with the arm to increase your twist. And after those 3 breaths, again, lowering back down and back into neutral. We're going to take a child's pose as a release in between. As you lower the tailbone back again, find your comfortable position, maybe a little bit of movement with the ribs side to side, and lengthen. In breath to prepare. As you breathe out, curl the tailbone under, roll the spine, and roll it up back into neutral. Take the left leg forwards. Again, open through the hip line. Planting the right hand on the floor, you're going to turn to face that front leg. So the rotation is happening almost like you're kind of drawing a bow to take the arm up, and the shoulder isn't up, the shoulder is down. Now from here, are your hips as low as you can make them? In breath into the ribs, out breath, relax and lengthen. And after those 3 breaths, we're going to return the hand to the floor, and then whether you repeat it or whether you challenge yourself with that straight leg, lengthening all the way through to your heel, that hand in contact so you turn to face your thigh, again drawing your bow as you reach up towards the ceiling,
Not working hard with the top arm, it's nice and light. Shoulder down in the socket on the grounded arm. Hips are lowering over your 3 breaths. After your 3rd breath, lower the hand to the floor, scoop the leg in behind, and we're going to bring you into box position from there. Now from here we're going to lie down, so you have a couple of different options depending on where your body is at the moment in time. So the easiest option to go down with is to lower your upper body where most of the weight is on your legs, and then to slide your legs backwards. If you feel that you're able to go further than that, then you could lower the body down forwards. So it's like a tricep press up. So we're lowering, body weight goes forward and then lengthen behind. Again, it's an early position in this movement, as you can tell. You could probably go to full press up and down, but we're starting gentle. So roll the shoulders backwards, lengthen your legs away from you on the mat. And there's a little lift with your back muscles to bring you upright, not with your head. I don't want you to feel that the back of your neck shortens down and creases. Keep the neck nice and long, reaching away from your toes. Hands are just lightly supporting, back is lifted. Lower back down. So, small movement. And again, I don't want you to feel like you have to work really hard to lift high. I don't want it to be straining and most of the work in your arms. I want you to come up to where you feel your back muscles can lift you. Then there's a little support from the hands and back down. We're going to do one more. Again, when you're ready, lifting. And as you're lifting, shoulders are rolling back. A little tightness developing in your tummy as if you're drawing your belly button towards your spine. And then when we're ready from there, lower back down. Your hands are going to connect to the floor. You're going to think about lifting your hips. And as you lift your hips, press your body back and into child's pose. So from here, again, take your breath in. And as you breathe out, curl the tailbone under. We're going to put some of these movements together in a little bit more of a sequence. So from there, bring the right leg forward. We're going to send it into your lunge position. Lengthen through your back. So as you're holding, you're thinking about what your body's telling you. And you're lengthening your breath. So from there, we're going to take that leg in behind. Again, we're going to draw it back up. Lengthen, opening up through the hip and lengthening your back. Thinking the difference between this side and the other side, which is your tighter side. Because maybe for you, you repeat your tighter side twice. After your 3rd breath, we're going to draw the leg in behind. I'm going to take that lowering option to the floor, going forwards, lengthening the legs behind, feet about hip distance, left. It's a baby back bend or a mini cobra that we're coming up to. In Pilates, it's a swan dive. In yoga and stretching, it's a cobra. So from there then, we're going to take it back. Again, lifting through your hips, softest option, back into child's pose. So from there, in breath, as you breathe out, roll the spine, coming forwards, rounding, and then back into neutral. Now this time what we're going to do is we're going to bring it up into standing. So from here, take the right foot in between your hands again, open up your hip line. Draw the toes underneath on the back leg and we're going to step it in, little push, to bring your feet about hip distance apart. Now from there for you, depending how tight your hamstrings are, I want you to bend your legs enough that your hands are flat on the floor. So wherever that is for you, and your chest is on your legs. Now if it feels like you have a little bit more room to stretch from there, you're thinking about lifting your sit bones. So you might not get the legs straight. It's wherever you feel you can lift to without the hands coming off. And again, we're 3 breaths in through there. And then from there, we're going to bring you up into standing. Now I want you to connect your feet, pushing them down into the floor. So that might mean bending your legs a little bit more. If you have any back issues, I want you to come up, hands to support, to bring you up with a straight back into stand. But otherwise, if you feel that you've got mobility in through your back, you press your feet into the floor and you curl your tailbone down to the floor. As you lift the muscles up from the front, all the way up from the pubic bone, lifting, reaching the arms up into a full stretch. And even at this position, if it felt like you could have a tiny little overstretch, not by sinking through your hips, but by lifting up out of your spine, then that's where we go. Draw the hands down in prayer position down onto the chest. So we're going to take it through a little bit of a sequence through that. And it's your sun salutation sequence, sun salutation A in yoga. So we're yoga inspired, but at the same time, we still incorporate stretching. So we're going to use those 3 breaths through the sequence as we run through it one final time in thoroughness. So from here, in breath, as you reach both arms up, hip distance apart or shoulder width as the arms reach, tall to the ceiling. That in breath reaches you nice and tall. On the out breath, you either have the option of bringing your hands to your knees and coming down in your squat position, or you could fold at your hips and lengthen, passing through a right angle, bending your knees as much as you need to come back to the floor. Or your sit bones lifted high. We're going to breathe 3 times in through your ribs. You might feel the belly fill, contacting the legs. And as you breathe out, allowing the body to relax. So on your 3rd breath, we're then going to take the right leg in behind. Now, as we take the right leg behind, you might need to adjust. So for you, maybe the option is to go to the knee. But if you feel that your option could be to go to straight leg, that's where you challenge yourself. I want you to get this sense that you're lengthening underneath and through your thigh. Again, those 3 breaths. We're going to bring our twist in. So you choose either from your knee, or you can take it up. Even if you try it from your knee, for a breath or 2, you could come into the straight leg for the remaining breath. After your 3rd breath in that position, hands to the floor, we're going to bring you back and we're going to take it straight to child's pose. And as we take it there, it's an in-breath. Curl the spine under, rolling it, coming forwards into neutral. And we're going to lower you down to the floor from there. As we lower, your body lengthens from your toes to the top of your head, and it's 3 breaths. You're using back strength to hold it. Abdominal strength to keep lifting the belly button away from the floor. Shoulders relaxed and back. After your 3rd breath here, press it back. Take a child's pose. Now, I know not everybody likes down dog, but it is a very good stretch. We're going to draw one in here, okay? As we roll the spine up on your out breath, you're rounding it forwards to all 4s, back into neutral, shoulders away from your ears. Tuck your toes under. We're just going to do a little baby one before we come into our other leg. So, hips are lifted, just like we were doing when we were in our forward fold, with our hands and feet on the floor. We're lifting the hips up high. The shoulders are not up around your ears. They're down your back. Your head is nicely relaxed, not pulling in between your arms. So you can decide from there, if it feels like once the arms are set up and the hips are high, could you start to pedal out your knees? Now, if your wrists do not feel happy in this position, you always have the option to roll the mat. And if you roll the mat, it will give you a surface to relax the wrists off a little bit more. So that is an option as well in this position. So again, as you're pedaling out your knees, you're lowering your heel towards the floor. It might not touch, but that's okay.
And after a few times there, we're going to bring both heels towards the floor. Shoulders are still down the back, the hips are still lifted. And we're going to step forward with your right leg. So as you take right leg through, trying to bring it to that right angle between your hands, so you choose either to the knee or to the straight leg, matching what you did on the other side. So again, we're 3 breaths in that position. Lengthening and relaxing. From there, connect the left hand to the floor. So you turn towards your thigh. So again, you choose. Maybe for you it was down to the knee for the twist. It's a very simple twist, but it's not simple. There's a lot of effort keeping the hips forward and the bottom shoulder working. 3 breaths, opening to the ribs. After your 3rd breath, hand to the floor. We're going to step with those toes in the back leg, step it forwards, feet hip distance apart. Again, this is our forward fold. Hips are nice and high. 3 breaths. So wherever that is for you, again, it might not be straight, don't force it. And then slowly from there, we're going to bring you up to stand. So again, your choice from going to a squat position, hands to your knees, or rolling your spine, using the muscles on the front of the body to pick you up in a relaxed way. Knees are soft. Reaching up, in breath, and relax the hands back down again. So going through each of those movements, hopefully they felt okay to do. Again, if you're practicing this video again, respect your body. You can feel different from one day to the next. So if you feel at this stage you want to relax a little bit more, you could give yourself some time to lie down. And if you lie down, just take it into that position, nice and flat, hands open, and just let it go for even if it's just 5 breaths. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we will be bringing another one soon to you. But use this as many times as you like through the week. You could do it daily, or you could just maybe 3 times a week, or particularly after any exercise that you do would be good as well. So thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon.